Alright, good evening everybody and welcome back to ERL Racing League. Of course with the replay of the sprint of last Saturday. And the sprint is a format where we have two qualification lobbies in which the drivers will be selected randomly and the starting grid will be on the championship order. And then we have a 15-minute race. And then the top 8 of both lobbies go through to the final, and we do the final sprint with 16 drivers. And the starting order then is the results of the both the lobbies. So the best race time will be on pole, etc. And then we get racing for 30 minutes. You can see here it's 17 laps of full-on racing with no tire wear and no fuel usage. So the cars stay equal all the time. It's just racing on hot lap mode. So the first 3 races were action-packed and awesome to watch. So we should be in for another treat here. Let's quickly go up the order. The starting grid, and we see Boosted for the first time in the sprint. He has been absent the first 3 races. Of course, our champion of last season in as well the sprint as the Pro League. On pole in what should be the BRZ, the Subaru, the first and only driver to race that car. Alicos in second, Snipes very nice in third, SD in fourth. So watch the cars in the Jaguar. Wrench in fifth with a Viper. His livery didn't load in. Maybe I can restart real quick. Jake also no livery. Shippo in seventh. Nice starting position for him. Azriel in eighth. Panda in ninth. Cool livery there on his Alfa Romeo. Chunky only in 10 this time. The last 2 races he was on pole. And then a 6, Smiley only in 11th. So they had a difficult qualify race. Gloss 12th, Dave. Specs 14th, Couch. I'm going to call him Couch. Of course there's Stan Sabby, but it's Couch. We know him as Couch in our league. And Zorro in 16th, the last 2 qualify. Let's restart real quick. Because we have still no liveries, so we're gonna do it without. And let's go. We're off. Boosted with an awesome start. Usually the Ferrari is no, I see a Chippo, but I loaded in again, but some of the liveries I had to save weight on the Viper. Yeah, good job. Let's see, everybody to turn 1. Yes, everybody scot-free till to 1. Boosted still in the lead with Alicos and Snipes. Wrench picked the place of SD, but SD is on his inside. Look at this, Jake watching in the rear there. Still side by side, SD and Wrench through the first hairpin. Oh, a bit deep there. Wrench with the cutback. Can he make it? Oh, SD on the grass. Should allow Wrench to go through. Yeah, there you have it. Wrench up in 4th. The first 3 still in order. You can see them in the screen. And he fights in the back. Yeah, we see Zorro and Specs side by side. Such a difficult track, this Autopolis in Japan. Oh, Zorro with the hairpin on the inside of Specs. Still going side by side. Let's back up to the front. The first 3 still in order. Wrench, then SD. Jake in 6th. Oh, a bit of grass there. Shippo, Panda, Couch up in 9th. Azrael and Gloss on the inside of Smiley. Smiley, of course, the championship leader. 1-2 out of 3 races so far. Oh, and we see Zorro going into the gravel there. And Chunky. Oh, he said it to me. It's a replay. He spun on the first lap. No, let's just continue. He spun on the first lap. And what's happened to Boosted? We need to see that. What happened to Boosted? It's a replay, so we can write. Oh, a bit of grass there, a bit too wide. Yeah, and he keeps it pointing in the right direction. Wrench looking inside, but just not making it. Oh, that's the first mistake of Boosted. Nothing too major, still in third. So Eliko's in the Ferrari now in first, Snipes in second, following in also in the Ferrari, boosted, under pressure by Wrench. Is Wrench gonna go for the move here? Boosted, holding him off. Going a bit deep is Jake in the background. Oh, Panda with the moment, also Ezreal with a big moment. They all keep the car pointing in the right direction. Yeah, like I said, it's very narrow, always grass on the side, so you can't take one wheel too far because then you're done. Oh, boost again with a big moment in that BRZ. Eliko still in first, followed by Snipes. Boosted in third, Wrench in fourth. Then we have SD still in fifth. Jake, Shippo with Panda right on his rear. Panda looking on the inside for the hairpin. No, slots back in. So difficult to outbrake each other with these cars. It's so different from F1 with much slower speed. And when you brake 5 meters later, you can easily outbrake yourself. So very, very difficult to overtake with these cars. With the lower grip they're having. Smiley only still in 13th. Chunky, how far back is he? Pretty far back. Let's see how he can make up some ground. Post saying I love Suzuka. I can read the whole on screen. Let's get Alright, back on the action. Eliko, Snipes still in first and second, boosted, following in third. That's such a shame because it's replay mode. We can see the deltas of how close the cars are together. That info is just missing in replay mode. Of course, this race was driven on Saturday, and you up front how everybody did, but not today. I haven't looked at the results yet, so it's also a surprise for me. See Chunky now, really close on Zorro. It's such a narrow track, difficult to overtake. Let's see if he can make it in the next hairpin. Quickly go through the field, not trying to miss any action. All following, so back at Chunky. Go. You're gonna send it down the inside. Let's go on board. Outbraking Zorro here. Making the apex. Pretty awesome move there. But Zorro having a run. Chunky defending the inside. Sorry, gonna throw it around the outside. No, he slid back. Probably realizing it's not a fight you want to pick. Chunky being the faster driver at the moment, of course, in our Pro League. And for the guys watching, welcome to the ERL Sprint Series, where all drivers from Zorro a bit wide, all drivers from all three classes are joined in one category, the sprint, where we have no tire wear and no fuel usage. Wow, SD with a big send around the outside of Wrench, throwing his car on the grass there. Plays again. Whoa, that would be an awesome move there if we're gonna make it stick. Jake now trying to take advantage, but also not making it. Wrench still in fourth. Oh, that would be an awesome move by SD. What a send there around the outside. Just collecting the wheels on the grass. Panda, where is Smiley, still in 13th in a big train. Trying to have a look down on the inside of specs. Smiley driving the Lamborghini, and I know for a fact the Lamborghini is by far the fastest car on this track. Of course, tested all the cars before we had to pick it for the season. And yeah, the Lamborghini on this track, you want to have it. It's so fast here. But yeah, when you're stuck in traffic, it's still difficult. Eliko still in first. picking up a bit of a lead over Snipes, slowly driving away. Snipes in second, boosted, still hanging on in third. Of course, the tiny mistake going too wide in the last sector of lap 1, losing the lead. Boosted, also driving in VR. You can see it in his name also. Extra difficult. Pretty cool livery again by him. Wrench now with a tiny gap on SD. Jake still following close. A tiny gap I'm saying, but they're still really close together. Panda through on Shippo. Closing up on the 3 of them. Shippo nicely driving an 8. Oh, I see Jake on the outside of SD. Sending it here. Can he stick it in there? Yeah, he does. Now as the inside, but SD still hanging on. Oh, that bit of push. Oh, and he sends it down the inside of the hairpin, touching Jake there a bit. And allowing him back in front. Really, really. SD, yeah, knows he shunted him a little bit. Not a clean overtake, so lets him back in front. Cool racing by SD. That's what we like to see. Of course, that's how racing should be done. Panda trying to take advantage of the situation and then pushing SD a little bit, so staying behind there. Also cool by him. Good racing by the lot. Oh, see a Ferrari there sideways a bit. Should be Dave. And Chunky now in the background, slowly catching up. Alico Snipes, oh, boosted, again the same turn, a big wobble, losing a lot of time there. You can see the gap opening. Wrench, Jake, oh, I hear a big slide, SD, almost losing the car. Let's see what happens there. SD, oh, a bit on the grass, a bit wide. Panda on his inside. Oh, Tokyo drift style. He keeps it on track. Again, really cool from the guys. Not to overtake, to push and overtake. And that's why we haven't seen something about this in the stewards room from our league. So, Alico's boosted in third. Yeah, this is the first race where we're not fighting from the lead. Jake saying Scott Tokyo's next week, but he's all trying to Tokyo drift now. I think we're not gonna see much of the leaders today for the first time. The last races were an awesome fight for the win, with 4 or 5 cars maybe in the mix. But this time it looks like Alico's can breathe in the lead for Snipes and Boosted, but never count Boosted out because he's so unbelievably fast. But yeah, he chose the BRZ, a bit of a slower car, a bit of a difficult car, so to challenge himself, I can assume. Oh, a big slide of Jake out of the hairpin. You can see on the bottom of the screen which assists they have on, so you can see the ABS showing a bit white, so ABS is on, and you can see on the right rear there a car with the curly stripes. That's traction control, that's off, that's grey, so they have to be careful on the power, on the throttle, otherwise your rear steps out. You can easily lose the car. Wrench holding up Jake. He has to defend the Minister of Defense. Always quickly looking up the front three, but still no difference. Then Wrench defending the inside on Jake. Let's get on board his car. Having a little look, but shouldn't make that, no. And I can see further down the back here also Fuel Car Chunky now, and Dave in front of somebody left. I don't know who. Somebody left. Ship was still in, yes, Ship was still in 7th. Oh, Ship on Panda, now side by side. Where does he come from? Should feel nice for Shippo to be in the mix here to race with the pro guys. Of course, we have on the Sunday we have the Endurance Championships, where we have three categories now in GT, and we see Jake on the inside of Wrench. Oh, a big fight here. Let's go back. We of course watched lap 1. Let's watch this fight. Jake, wow, sending it around the outside. Lucky allowing him some room. Oh, on the inside there. That's not too neat. Still side by side. Oh, you can see there, trigger heavy on the throttle, but catching the car. Having the inside here, but then too early on the power, going wide on the grass. Can it be a track limit maybe? Or is the car... No, he's not getting a track limit, going a bit deep. Still holding on. Again, sideways out of the exit on the throttle. And Wrench throwing it around the outside here on the grass. Again, a right-hander. Good move by Wrench. Awesome racing by these guys. Again, cool action. Not for the lead this time, but yeah, still awesome racing here. I was trying to say, we have 3 categories on the Sunday, with of course the pros, the fastest guys, where I myself drive in as airman, and then we have Wrench doing good in there. Also Boosted was the champion of last season. Jake trying around the outside of Wrench here, going a bit too deep. Wrench holding on again. Again a fight side by side, and look who's there. SD is trying to take advantage of the whole situation. Shippo now there in the background with Smiley. Wow, Smiley making inroads now. All the way up from 13th to 9th. Finally he's feeling the rhythm, getting some overtakes done. The championship leader, of course the winner of the pro season 2. We're now in our 4th season. Look at this, Wrench still in 4th. SD now open, shunting Jake there a bit. That's how close it is. Everybody trying to find some room, and I know SD really close on the rear of Wrench. Jake still holding on 6th for the moment. Smiley now on the inside of Shippo, gets the overtake done, as to go with him. And Specs in the Audi also in the background. Pretty cool fights all over the place. Oh, yellow flag, what happened? Oh no, Boosted's off again. Again the same corner. And yeah, that BR set is a menace. Oh, does he go off again? No, he hits Panda maybe in the process. Wow. Difficult race for our champion of last season. Of course, the first time he's in there. We see Jake and SD side by side again. Look at the gap the leaders are having. Ellicos and Snipes comfortably in 1st and 2nd there. And the first time I don't have to follow the leaders in the sprint. It's our 4th round. With Ellicos winning 1, so Ellicos is up for his 2nd win also. And gets himself equal to Smiley then in the championship. Or maybe not, because Smiley is not in 2nd this time. He's all the way in 8th at the moment. Look at this train forming up. We had a fight for 4th, 5th and 6th, and now we have a fight for Wrench and 3rd, creating a tiny gap at the moment again, like last week where he was in the lead. And he went away for a little bit. Oh, Jake picking up a time penalty. And the penalty line is here. But he's not taking it this lap, he's taking it next lap. So he needs to create a gap. He needs to concentrate. He needs to go from the pack. He needs to make the gap to SD, to Panda. Boost it again. A really loose car there. Smiley, Shippo still in the mix. Ezreal, Specs. And then a gap to Chunky, who of course spun on lap 1 with Couch in his rear. Dave still in 14, Zorro in 15th. Alicos, there you have him, comfortably in the lead. Snipes in second. In the background, the pack comes. Wrench has his blinkers on, maybe hit the button by accident and doesn't see it. Jake doesn't have the gap yet, so he's gonna fall back. But how far? With that time penalty. Of course, in GT, in the game, when you cut the corner, you don't get a warning, you get a time penalty right away, and there's a time penalty line somewhere on a straight, and when you cross that line, your car is gonna brake automatically. For now, Jake now has half a second, so it's just gonna brake for half a second, but you lose out like maybe 6, maybe 7, 8 tenths on this track, and sometimes it's even over a second, because yeah, when you're up to speed, you brake, you need to get up to speed again. Yeah, it says you're gonna be forced to slow at the next penalty line. Of course, my screen is in Dutch, so for the English viewers that's gonna be difficult to read. It says in the yellow, you're gonna be forced to brake at the next penalty line. There you have it, his car brakes. SD, Panda, no, he holds on. He holds on. The inside, smart driving there by Jake, putting his car on the inside, not allowing everybody through. And still holding the connection to Wrench. Really well done by Jake here. Oh, boosted again sideways, and he's off again, and he hits the barrier. You see front bumper damage, going into the gravel to avoid all the other cars. What an absolute bummer of a race for Boosted, our champion. But props to him for choosing a different car, a difficult car, and from first now all the way back in 13th. But of course in the sprint his damage will repair himself after a while, so that will disappear. Let's get back up to the fighting. Yeah, Alicos, sorry to not follow you, mate, but you're driving a league of your own today, comfortably in the lead. Jake White there, a big mistake, allowing Wrench to get away a bit again, and SD on his rear again, but still holding on. And of course Jake is known as the Minister of Defense within our league. He's always defending so well, so hard, every opportunity he gets, not allowing everybody through easily. Smiley on the back of Panda. They have been at it together a few times this season. You could say they're pretty evil rivals from each other, battling a lot together. Of course, Smiley now in the Lamborghini, and on the pro season of Sundays, their Panda is in the Lamborghini, and Smiley drives the McLaren. Yeah, I still haven't finished my story about the 3 divisions on Sunday. I was at the pro division. We have 16 guys in there. That's Alicos, that's Snipes, that's Wrench. Jake is in the second league, the class league. SD is in the pro league, Panda's in the pro league, Smiley is in the pro league, Ezreal's in the pro league, Shippo is in the AM league, the amateurs, a new division made for the guys who were a bit slower. They have a championship of their own, so they can race other guys and can compete maybe also for wins. And of course the AM races are a few hours before the class races, and when you finish in the top 3 there, you will advance to the class race. Wrench still surprised good he races that Viper, because that's a difficult car. He's fast in a straight line, but it's a heavy car, so it's difficult in the turns. But he's making it work somehow. Of course, all the cars in this game have different characteristics, and some are fast in a straight line, some are good in fast corners, like the BMW for example. And then you have mid-speed corners where other cars are faster, and you have slow corners where the rear motor cars are better. So every car is working differently on another track. And now with this narrow track you see the two Ferraris, the mid-corner, the mid-motor cars flying away with the pair of them. Look at the lap times, 44.9, and also all the lap times 45s. Snipes in the 45, mid to high. Wrench, look at that, 46, 47. So the Helicos is getting away 2 seconds a lap. Of course the guys are fighting. Oh, Jake again really wide there. Let's the next lap get on board with somebody in this pack to, you can see how difficult this track is, how narrow it is, how twisty it is. Look at the train. We have a Wrench in third with a big train, with Jake, with SD, with Panda, with Smiley, with Ezreal, with Chunky back in ninth now. He was all the way back after his spin. Look at that, he's now closed the gap and in the mix for P3 again. Specs in 10th, Shippo still in 11th, and then a bit of a gap through Couch, boosted in 13th still, and Dave, Zorro all the way back. And of course now we have tire wear off, but this track is a menace on the tires. All those long corners demanding so much of the tires, so difficult. Let's pick up our championship leader Smiley in the Lamborghini. Gonna go on board a lap with him. A bit of a gap now. Look not to miss an overtake maybe. It looks okay for now. So turn 1, brake about 80-70 meters, a blind steering, not to try to go too wide. If you hit the grass there, you will lose traction, you will have a wobble, you will lose an exit. Again 60 meters or so, throwing in there, letting it roll through a double left-hander, so narrow, and then keeping it tight for the hairpin to the right. Oh, and Wrench under pressure there in the back, in the background, foreground, how do you want to call it? Hey, Jake's livery shoots on the car. And now a really long left-hander. You have to be so patient on the throttle. If you go too soon, you will go wide, you will hit the grass again. Another hairpin. Look at how blind you're steering in here. Easy on the throttle, because you can lose it so easily there. A right-hander again, downhill. Easy to go wide again. And another right-hander. Again, look at this, just let the car roll. No throttle, no brakes, let it roll through. Be patient. And this is the corner where we have seen boosted go off 2 times. Such difficult. And then again a left. Be careful with the throttle there, because if you get your foot floored, you will go off. You have to be so patient. And then the last little turn, and we're back on the straight again. So there you have a lap around Autopolis. And we need to pick up here Jake, still close on Wrench. Wrench unbelievable. I think holding up the pack for 12 laps or so already. Oh, Jake a bit on the grass there. Whoa, really late on the brakes, having to avoid Wrench there, going wide. and then have to be careful not to let a gap for SD in his rear. Still in the mix. Panda still in 6th, Smiley, Chunky. Ooh, lost a bit of the rear of the train in front. Ooh, Smiley now really close. Panda already defending the inside for the hairpin. Also Jake on Wrench. Wrench defending the inside there in the front of our screen. We can still see everything from the car. Let's get up to the rear of the car. We have a better view. Can watch everything, because sometimes in TV mode you miss still a lot. Oh, Panda on the grass. Oh, lucky to hold on there. Could easily have spun. And you can see, even with a mistake from the car in front, it's still so difficult to get by. And you can see on the rear middle right side of the screen the throttle and the brake input of the guys in the telemetry. How sometimes you have to be so patient to get on the throttle. So Panda with a really good run here now. Also Jake and SD there. Jake defending the inside, not to attack Wrench but to defend from SD. Oh, Panda again with a moment on throttle. Is Smiley gonna throw it around the outside here? Panda trying to hold him off. Yes, braking late. And he gets the overtake done. But it's not over yet. Panda throwing it around the outside here, having the inside of the hairpin. Oh, Smiley going deep. Not trying to get collected by Panda, allowing him to get through again. Is he going for the inside here? Wow, clean racing by the pair of them. Allowing each other lots of room. Good job, guys. That's what you like to see. Of course, they collected each other in the pro race last week, both picking up penalties on each other, but this time enough room, a lot of respect, good racing here. And Smiley is through in 6th. Alaco's going for his last lap, not to forget his finish there. So 1 minute and 45 seconds to go. Snipes covering in 2nd, Wrench. Jake saying Panda's growing up so fast. Yeah, that was really good racing from Panda, from the pair of them, also from Smiley. Of course, they can be a bit how do you say that, eager to get by and then touching other cars, but this was really clean racing. Good job. It looks like Wrench is up for P3, Jake is up for 4th, but Smiley's of SD is really close on him, as Smiley and Panda lost the connection to them. I need to find a better word for that in English. I will try to get that before this weekend, when I'm at Spa for the European Karting Championships and commentating there live on track. So that's going to be another thing coming. Oh, Wrench. I thought he was easily P3, but look at this. Jake is now back on his rear again, going a bit wide. Where's Elacos? No, he's not close to the finish yet. Keep an eye on the minimap. Oh, Jake again really wide there. Trying everything to keep on the rear of Wrench. Chunky there on the rear of Panda again. He was all the way back a few laps ago, and now he's close to another car, so Wrench weaving his car a bit, playing playful there. Alacos now through the last corner. He's gonna win. Look at this, what an awesome race by Alacos, his 2nd win of the season. Snipes, really good drive by him, a podium. And then we have Wrench, Jake, SD, Smiley still together. Oh, I saw SD making, yeah, SD, oh no, SD in the last lap. A tiny mistake, sends the car to the right instead of the left. Oh, and Wrench, oh, it looks a bit like Jake was going to get him. Smiley back up in 5th, SD, Panda, Chunky really close, Specs in 9th. Then you have Shippo, Ezreal, boosted. Such a shame for our championship defender. Couch in 13th. Of course, joined from the F1 side. Only with us for 2 weeks. Dave, also a new driver this season. Is gonna let Soro through. What's he doing? Soro throws it over the line. Dave then finishes 15th. Don't know why he did that, but okay. And it's restarting again. So there it was, guys. Sprint round 4 with Alakos up for his second win. Tied with Smiley and wins, but don't know for sure what the other results are. So at the beginning of next week, I will let you know who's in front in the championship. Yeah, Jake, the sprint always provides. He's saying, yeah, you definitely go do. Thank you again for the spectacle. Always a pleasure to do this. So yeah, guys, there was the sprint of ERL, and maybe I'll be back next Friday with the stream of the AM race, the amateurs, because we don't have the time to do that live also, so we need to do it later the week. And then I'm off to Belgium, to the circuit of Spa for the European Championships. This maybe you can catch me there, and otherwise, of course, Sunday on track again with the Pro at our next race. Thanks for watching, and see you later.